Hello, welcome to Rag Rugs by Erin. In this episode we're going to show you how to make a circle rag rug crocheted out of sheets. Okay, so I wanted you to see, to get an idea of what it would look like, the circle, and I'm going to show you a formula, an easy formula that you can adjust as you go along, because making around the corners and not making the sides come up on the edges like a bowl or to get too wobbly poses kind of an aggravation to a lot of people when they first start learning how to do this. You get a little better feel for it as you move along, but I tried to come up with a formula that would make it easier for each person when they started out, and that maybe their first rug would come out just perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. And remember that we use sheet, and I make sheet yarn. Okay, and if you look at one of my other videos, it shows you how to make sheet yarn. It also has another video that shows you how to make no-sew sheet yarn. This one is sewed sheet yarn, but the other one will show you how to do it without sewing. And if you look at my other videos on how to keep them smooth, and I show how to make oval rugs. But on this one, we're going to focus on how to start a circle rug. So let me put this to the side and get started. Okay. I really like the colors in that rug. It was just kind of a fun thing I tried out. If you are familiar with my other videos and subscribe to my channel, you know that good tools are really important to me. So again, this is going to be the preferred crochet needle for me. A lot of people do it with a Q, which is quite a bit larger. I don't like it quite that big. It's a little sloppy. This is about a 10 millimeter. It might be an O or an N. They're a little harder to find, but you could do it with a Q. And I'm now starting to see these a little bit more often, even like at your discount stores, and you don't have to go to a specialty store. So, and then a good pair of scissors for this, and my fancy marker, chain marker, stitch marker. I just use a safety pin. You can buy something else. You can use an earring I've seen people use, but this is just what I use because it's on hand and it's inexpensive. So to get started, I'm going to do it a little bit on the fast side, still geared towards a beginner, but you can go to Rag Rugs by Erin episode 1, and it does it even slower if you need it slowed down a little bit more. So in order to get started, you're going to take a loop like this. Make sure you leave plenty at the end. You're better off to have a little bit too much than not enough, because I actually, on the way I make a rug, I grab that and incorporate it in. Some people will leave it out. I don't like that technique at all. I like it to be incorporated as we go along, so I leave it long enough. In fact, I think I'll make it just a little bit longer than that. So you cross it over like this, cameraman, if you can get in and see, and the longer piece I feed into the hole and feed that through. Okay, so you have a pretty long one. That's maybe a little too long, but better too long than not enough. You're going to tighten it up just a little bit, and actually I like to hold the piece that's the shorter end in my hand. So here we go. I'm going to do a chain stitch, 5 chain stitches to get started. 1, you'll notice I'm doing it slow, loose, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of you may be real crocheters. I wouldn't say that I'm a real crocheter. I kind of gear all my videos towards beginners or people that really don't have any experience, because I don't want you to have to be just a crocheter in order to enjoy this fun activity to make a rug. So after you've got your 5 chain stitches, you're going to come back to the original hole of the first chain stitch, and there it is. You're going to go into that hole, and then we're going to pretend that this is only one strand. That's how we incorporate it in. You're going to pretend it's only one strand. You're going to grab both of those strands and can count it as 1. So now you have 1, 2. This is really the one that has the 2 together. We're counting it as 1. Okay, then you're going to cross over and pull them both off. On this first row, all the way around these 5 stitches, you're going to do 2 stitches in every hole. So I'm back in the same hole. You've got 2 again. And again, we're pretending this is 1 and pull them both off. So that's 2 stitches in the first hole. This is when we're going to take your stitch marker, your fancy stitch marker or whatever it is you choose, And this is what we're going to do for the first few rows, but then after we get going, you don't need a stitch marker anymore. Some people will continue to use one, I will not. I get to about 5 rows to 7 rows and I stop. And that's where the formula comes in that I'll teach you how to do. So you go to the next hole, you put it in the hole, and you pretend that's 1. So you have 1, 2, and you pull both of them off. We're going back into that same hole. That's the hole that we came out of, going back in. Now you can see that I've incorporated that tail, so it's gone. Now we're just doing 2 single, and pull that off. So that was 2 in that hole. We're going to continue to go all the way around and do 2 stitches in each hole. So I'm going to kind of talk and do this a little quicker. You can watch the beginning part. 2 stitches in each hole, all the way until we go back to where that stitch marker is. See how I'm pulling this? Kind of just pull it 1 like that, and 2 stitches. That's 1 stitch. And then when you get to all the way around, I'm going to do 1 more time all the way around with 2 stitches in each hole. Okay, let's see. Right here. Now I'm going to tell you this, sometimes starting it is the most frustrating part of this. I'm going to tell you to persevere on, and it will be amazing how well it will look. So there was 2 in that same hole. And then 2 in this hole. Now we're back where we started from. Do the second stitch in the same hole. A little bit aggravating with that in the way. And you can see, those of you who are awesome crocheters, you'll say, she's not a real crocheter. She's not letting it flip off the right way. I have found that it's really ruined my regular crocheting because I can't just slip it off as easily. I have to use my other fingers. So here I'm going to use your stitch marker again. Mark where we have basically come around 1 time. It doesn't matter. It's not written in stone that it has to be exactly in that location. We're going to try to make it close. Okay, we're going back in and going all the way around 2 stitches. I'm going to try to just do this quickly, and then we're going to go on to the next one. Let me talk about the formula as I'm doing this, and you can just kind of be watching and listening to the formula, because I'm going to go over it several times, because we all think a little differently, we all learn a little differently, and the first time I say it, you might go, wait, I'm not really getting what she's saying. I've been an educator for 8 years, and I realize our brains all work a little differently, and what might be clear to me might not be clear to you, or it may take a second time of understanding. So, as you see, to begin with, the first 2 rows, you are going to do 2 stitches into each stitch as you go around. That's giving you the arch so it doesn't tighten up too much. And see how it's still laying flat? How we still have a little spiral there, and it's still laying flat. So that's what we're going to be shooting for. The first 2 go-rounds after the chain of 5, you're going to go 2 stitches in every stitch as you go around. Okay? As you get to the next row, we're quickly approaching 2 times around with 2 stitches in each hole. You are then going to do 2 stitches, and then you're going to do a single stitch in the next one. Then 2 stitches in a hole, and then a single stitch. So you're going to proceed like that. What I'm going to tell you, the formula comes into, you're never going to, let me see if I can say this correctly, you're never going to go less single stitches. So if you have decided that you're going to now be on row 7, and row 7 may end up being where you're doing 1 double stitch in the same hole and 4 single crochets in the next holes. You're going to do that, continue to do that all the way around, or as far as you feel that it still can lay flat. you're never going to go to less stitches, single stitches. I know that sounds very confusing. I may even have to get out a piece of paper to explain that. Let me continue to go quickly so I can then show you what I'm talking about. Here we are back around to where we were. So this is 2 rows around. Take this off. I think that'd be a little bit easier. I'm going to do one more double, 2 stitches in 1 hole. This is where it changes. We're going to do, now the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single stitch. The next hole is going to be 2 stitches in 1 hole. 2 stitches. See, there was 1, go back into the same hole, there's 2. Then we go back to a single stitch in the next hole, just 1 stitch. Next hole, next you're going to do 2. And I didn't put my marker back on, so I pretty much know where I am, so I'm going to finish that double stitch so I know here's where I was. And this isn't exact. I will tell you, I've seen some other videos of people making huge rugs with different types of material, and I couldn't make it go an exact science there. So I did 2 stitches, we're going back to the single one. Back to a double in that hole. One stitch, 2 stitch. Cameraman, can you tell me how many minutes we've been filming? Okay, we're going to pause right here. I'm going to continue on and finish around, and we'll have part 2 at the next video, and I will show you how it moves along much quicker. I'm hoping I can do this in just 2 parts. So thank you, and make sure you tune in to How to Make a Circle Rug, part 2. Thank you.